Hi everyone, welcome to week 6 of our class. I want to do an overview of some of the things that we're going to be doing this week. In my opinion, this is a pretty easy week. It's pretty straightforward, so I don't think we should encounter too many issues, but I thought I'd still go over some of the things that we're doing. And then after I'm done with this video, I'm going to make a video in which I talk you through what writing project 3 is. So, as per usual, with week 6 here, we have a bit of an overview of what we'll be doing. This week is focusing on getting started with writing project 3 and specifically coming up with your research question for writing project 3. In writing project 3, you are going to be you're going to have a question that is going to help guide you through your research. You're going to find sources, and through your research, you're going to try and answer the question that you came up with. So this week focuses on getting started with that process. Let's take a look at our first task this week. First task is just to read over the description of writing project 3. You will find that under the Writing Projects tab over here. And make sure that you, as always, read through all of that. Wouldn't hurt for you to read it through a couple of times. If there's a video there, make sure you watch the video. I think that there is. But that'll definitely be a good start for you for the rest of this week. Our next task is to do some readings from your textbook, choosing a topic, which goes along with getting started with writing project 3. And then you're going to be reading an essay called Does Texting Affect Writing? As well as an essay called Is Google Making Us Stupid? Which you can find by following this link. And here's a tip down here for you. You could look ahead at the Student Success Gallery week 9 to read some samples of writing project 3. So if you don't want to wait to kind of develop an understanding of what writing project 3 is, you want to jump ahead and take a look at some finished products, you can do that. And actually that would be a good way for you to conceptualize what this project is going to be like. After you're done with these readings, you should move on to task 6.3. This is going to be some brainstorming. And again, you have two options. And like usual, I suggest doing option 1. Option 1 is a lot more specific than option 2. This will get you thinking about things that should help you come up with a research question. And up here, we have kind of some tips. The research question that you are going to be developing, you want to make sure that it is interesting to you, because if you pick something that you're not all that interested in, this will feel like a very long and laborious process. It's almost always better to pick something that you actually care about, even though there might be other topics that you think would be easier. You want it to be pretty focused, but not too narrow. So there shouldn't be one answer to your question, and there certainly shouldn't be an obvious answer to your question. The point of having a research question is to actually find out different answers to that question. So if you already know the answer to your question, then that's not really something that's worth you researching. Your question should have some sort of personal connection to your life. You should be able to answer it with the help of outside sources. This one, if you haven't read a lot of like articles online or things from scholarly journals, this one could be hard for you to judge, but keep in mind that the goal here is to use your sources to answer the question. So if you don't think your question can be answered by doing some research through the library, then it's probably not a good question for this project. And I already mentioned this one. Make sure it's something that you don't already know the answer to or something you haven't already made up your mind about. I see students do this a lot. Students will pick a topic that they already know what they think. They already have a stance on that topic. And honestly, that usually doesn't lead to very interesting writing. Research can be a lot more fun and enjoyable if you legitimately don't know the answer to your question, or you legitimately don't know what you think about the topic. And then by researching it, you are able to develop some of those thoughts. So that's task 6.3 for this week. In task 6.4, you'll be doing some discussion board posts. First of all, your post for Wednesday, you're going to be looking at the 2 essays that I had you read, Texting and Google, and you're going to be addressing these prompts. In what ways do those pieces help you understand the genre you'll be writing in Writing Project 3? For example, what did you notice about those readings in terms of voice, use of sources, questions and answers, etc.? The writers do things you want to try to do in your own writing, and then if there are things, give some examples. So that's your post for Wednesday. And your post for Friday is as follows. So you should do this after you have done the brainstorming, task 6.3, and you're going to post a couple of questions you came up with. And make sure you do actually post a couple of questions. It really wouldn't be bad actually for you to post maybe 3 or 4 questions. And then I'll give you feedback on all of the questions that you post, and it would be good for you to give me some options. That way you will receive more feedback, and you also aren't putting all of your eggs in one basket, so to speak. You'll kind of have some options to choose from. And then once you have posted your questions, you should read through some of your classmates' questions and respond to at least 2 of them. And here are some things for you to consider as you respond to your peers' questions. When you are responding, make sure that you are being positive and encouraging, but also you're allowed to be critical. If you see issues with a person's question, or you have recommendations for how they could maybe tweak their question to improve it, you are allowed to mention those things. If your response is just, hey, your question looks great, I don't know how helpful that will really be to your peers. And you may end up losing some points if I don't feel as if your response to your peers is thoughtful. All right, and so that's task 6.4. And then all that you are submitting for this week is just the writing for task 6.3. So this is a pretty straightforward week, not that many tasks. Should be pretty easy. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I will do my best to help you out.